In what can only be described as the biggest event in ETA's history, KO Flow 2 is on the horizon. This Friday, the 25th of October, doors are opening at 6, so make sure you go into the description, find the top link, and go get your tickets because they are selling out fast. But we have a special surprise for your faces. The first fighter press conference is here. We have Matt Reid, Fernando Larey, and a late boxer calling, Matt Reid. So enjoy. First fighter up is Fernando Larey. Our next fighter up is Matt Reid. The third and final fighter for today's press conference is Matt Reid.
Middle seat for me, please.
Okay, first.
Fernando, I have a question. What has been the biggest challenge for you so far in this whole process?
The biggest challenge for me was probably switching from my styles from rugby to boxing. So, for instance, if I had to incorporate my rugby skills into the boxing, for instance, facing my opponent, not standing my feet, next to each other, instead one foot after another, and then my skills training, you have to be light on your feet a lot. So I use a lot of home exercises, as you can say. And I think for now I'm prepared as a beginner boxer.
Matt, you're looking quite serious, very locked in. How are you feeling for the fight?
Yeah, no, look, I'm excited. It's my first time fighting. Obviously, had a bit of a combat background, so rugby being the most combat I've ever done. But yeah, no, excited, keen to see what's going to happen on the night.
I have a question for all the fighters, actually, but we can start here to the far left. My question is, what skill set do you have that you think will differentiate your game between the other fighters?
I would say experience. I was supposed to fight in this fight last year. Unfortunately, my fighter pulled out. But since then, I have been training for the past year and a half, consistently, whether it's twice a week, once a week. I've still been keeping up with combat training, whether it be boxing, Muay Thai, anything. So I have spent time in the ring. I've spent time sparring. So I know my way around a pair of boxing gloves.
For me, I would just say, I just got that dog. I just got that dog.
What type of dog is it? Jack Russell or?
It's a bit of a mix. But nah, like during all the sparring events that we've had so far, I've been taking hits, but I still walk you down. So that's what I feel like going into the fight's gonna do me quite well.
Well, I'm a taller person, but I'm also inexperienced, so I know what my downfalls are. It depends. For instance, my opponent is Matt. I know I've boxed against him, sparring matches, and now and then I've seen what he can do. I know what I'm up against, but I also know I can't, take chances with him. So in that case, I'll just use what I have in my advantage and what I've learned so far.
I've got a question for Matt. I think it's come to my attention that your last opponent has pulled out. So how are you going to adapt to your new opposition?
Well, you can't really take any of your opposition for granted. So he may have pulled out because of injury or whatever, and it was nice sparring against him, and he provided quite a heavy challenge. But that obviously doesn't mean that I've got to take this next fight lighter or any harder. Just go in with the same mindset, the same mentality, and just do my best on the night.
I have a question for Matt Reid. So you spoke earlier about your experience in boxing and different forms of combat. Do you think because of that, it's giving you an upper hand, and maybe an approach that, like, kind of giving your opponent like a, how would I say, as if you have an upper hand to your opponents, or do you think you're just more mentally prepared than them, or do you think, you know what, just because they don't have the experience that you have, you'll still be as ready no matter what?
I feel like since I have been fighting, I do have a few advantages in certain different areas. Obviously, Fernando, he's just started, but he's very, very keen for the sport, and he's got his advantages. He's got the height, he's got the reach. But I've been boxing for a year and a half. I've sparred against people taller than me, people bigger than me. I know how to work my way around it. I have a game plan. I'll see if it works, but I'm confident in my ability to hold my own.
What's your game plan?
You'll see on Friday night.
Last question for me. Do you guys think you're going to be able to adapt to the crowd? Since none of you guys have, from my knowledge, fought in front of a crowd, you might have a large crowd. Do you think you're adapted and ready for that crowd? Let's start on the right this time.
Definitely. I think if anybody in this room has ever played a sport in front of a crowd, many a times there's always going to be heckling or either the same cheering. Home ground advantage, doesn't matter. So it depends. Are you going to hold your composure? Are you going to block them out? All depends.
No, completely agree with that. It all just comes down to composure. At the end of the day, we all kind of in the same boat. The crowd's going to affect us all the same, but the people that are going to benefit the most are the people that are the most calm and cool and collected when all that noise is in your head. So yeah, completely agree with what he says. It's all about composure of the day.
I think the energy in the crowd's going to be absolutely electric. So taking similar approach to what these gents have said, it's going to be to be able to compartmentalize yourself from being away from the event and away from the crowd and actually staying, as Matt said, staying composed throughout the entire event and throughout your fights, prep, everything leading up to it. There's going to be a lot of emotions. There's going to be a lot of adrenaline. Folks are going to get pissed off. So as soon as that first bell goes, whether it comes down, can you handle the pressure?
I've got a question for all three. I will start with Fernando on the right. Seeing as you guys are all three of you are aware that it's for charity, the event, so how are you going to be able to tone it down in the ring to a certain level? Because as you understand it is a hard sparring event, it's an exhibition. So are you going to be able to keep your emotions, your mentality, that this is for charity, I'm not going out there to particularly hurt my opponent, but I'm there to put on a bit of a performance, make it fun, entertaining. How are you going to go about doing that?
Well, in my personal, if I can give you my personal answer, in all sports that I've competed in, rugby, hockey, cricket, that was the main sports that we have in my hometown. I've enjoyed all of them. I've learned to suppress my emotions and rather just enjoy whatever comes forward. So, for instance, if I was in a situation, if I was in a boxing match and I had to, for instance, I got angry or something, I learned to suppress my emotions rather than use that. But in some cases, it is a boxing match. It is hard sparring. You're gonna get hit, and you have to be able to take hits if you're gonna give hits out. So yeah.
In my opinion, I feel like you said, it is for charity and it is a hard spar. But at the end of the day, you just got to focus on the bigger picture. Like it's not all about you. It's not all about your opponent. It's about the event as a whole. So myself, I'm gonna go out there and put on a show. But obviously, it's going to be tactical, it's going to be to the point, but it's going to look good. And yeah, it's for charity. So you got to take yourself out of it and think about the bigger picture.
So prior to the event, we've been running social sparring to build camaraderie, to build cohesion between the fighters. And I think, although I was roped in about a week ago to this fight, I think sparring with all the fighters, with everyone in the room, it's created this type of energy around the fights, and you learn to not to adapt on a competitive level, but also an emotional level to your opponent. You know them, you become mates with them, even though it's a sport where the aim is to try win as many points as possible by landing as many shots as you can, by being as technical as possible. After that final bell goes, it's about the friendships that you made. It's about the journey coming across it. And through that, with Chalk, I think it's going to be an amazing thing to showcase, just that the journey of how this event has progressed.
I have a question for the two fighters that are new to this. There's a lot of takeaways that people get from boxing, discipline and so on and so forth. What have you guys, without your experience, taken away in your personal lives?
For myself, definitely the fact that if you get hit, like just keep going. Like no matter, especially in like life lessons and stuff, if there's adversity that you're facing, just keep going. Put your head down, keep grafting, keep working, keep at it.
I'm going to take what he said. That it's true what he says. If I can make an example, same thing with rugby. You get hit, you're gonna have to get up. The longer you stay on the floor, the less you do. So if life gives you lemons, you can't always make lemonade. You gotta dice that shit up and just eat some of salt.
One more question. Sorry, I'm asking too many questions. But obviously, going into this boxing event, the why is for the charity. We're fighting for a cause. Is there anything specific or anyone in mind that motivates you guys to fight? Is there something you're going into this fight? Is there anyone specific or something specific you're going into this fight hoping to fight for? And what is it?
Firstly, good question. That's a very good question. Yeah, you chaps get time to think about it. Well, since it is for charity, I've been working with Chalk for years. I've done multiple outreach for them, and I've been working with them since I was about 12 years old. So for the past 9 years, it's been an incredible journey, and I've gotten to see what work they do. I've experienced the work that they give. They've helped me out in similar situations that these kids are in, and I started this journey by just putting myself in an uncomfortable situation and throwing myself into the deep end and learning to adapt. But now, since I'm here, it's, as said previously, it's more about finding stuff that fulfills you from the inside and in a way that you can't get tangibly. It's about doing stuff that's helps you feel better. And if that's boxing for charity and bringing light to a cause that definitely needs the help, then that's definitely what I'm here for.
I've got another question for you, Matt Reid.
Yes.
Seeing as you were involved last year in the event, training, working hard for the event, and then you fell out last minute.
Yes.
Now you have the opposite happening, where you're coming in last minute. Do you feel like it's an opportunity for you to be able to right some wrongs from last year that happened?
I think it gives the opportunity to do that. Since it is the complete opposite, it's a 2-week notice. It changes a few things. I've had to adapt very quickly in these past 2 weeks to that change, but I think that challenge of throwing yourself in the deep end, which seems to be a common thread, definitely helps for the better. And I think it's going to help and aid my chances this time compared to last.
Going back to your question, definitely like Matt said previously, it's throw yourself in the deep end, really just try get uncomfortable, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. But yeah, no, completely, it's all about charity at the end of the day. And at the same time, also fighting for my coach, John O'Taylor. He's helped me out a lot in my fitness journeys, in life in general. Just want to show him that, look, I can do hard things sometimes, and you've helped me through these hard things. So it's like a thank you to him almost.
I know what the charity is all about. I've worked a couple of charity jobs where, people are just in hard times and all that. So obviously, ego is under the window. I get the bigger picture. I know what I'm doing. And also I'm fighting to prove my sister a point. She's been a kickboxer when she was 16 and she won the world champs. So I'm also trying to maybe steer myself in that direction. So,
yeah, I've got a question. We'll start with Fernando this time around again. How do you guys get it done? Are you gonna win through points? How do you think you're gonna go about handling the fight on Friday?
Well, as I've noticed in the sparring I've done with a other couple of fighters, I'm not an aggressive fighter. I'm not that aggressive. It depends on the situation. I fight with the situation. Whatever comes, I throw back. So definitely for the points, I'm going for the points because I'm at my advantage. I've got height, I've got reach, so why not?
First round KO. Definitely points. At the end of the day, we want to put on a show, put on a performance, make it look good. But yeah, if it goes down to points, it goes down to points. Whichever way it swings, if he wins or if I lose, it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, all about the event. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Matt put it very nice and plainly. Points. It's a white collar match. It's only 3 rounds. It's 2 minutes. That's 6 minutes total to showcase everything that you've learned over the past couple of months of training. And this fight's culminating what Fernando said. It's not about ego. So if you go out there to completely, pardon my language, but beat the shit out of your opponent, then you'll learn very, very quickly that's not the aim here. It's about showcasing boxing to ETA. It's about showcasing boxing to spreading light onto a charity through different forms. And I definitely think it's going to be about putting on a show, winning through points, taking advantages. Yeah, just taking what's given to you.
I got a question for the two of you guys here. So you both knew, obviously, what do you see yourself doing with the sport of boxing after this? Is it just playing just for fun? Something you're gonna, not take part in again? Maybe if it happens next year, you might again. But are you planning to, continue your training afterwards?
For me, this is like for me, it just opened up a new world of boxing. So, like I said, last year I watched a lot of boxing. I just got interested and picked up a couple of gloves and started, doing my own stuff and all that. But definitely, I think I might take it up again. At the start, when I heard about this charity event, I thought, let's do it for fun. But now I think I can take it a bit more seriously, but also, have fun, put on a show like they said,
Yeah, no, completely. I would definitely go into the sport. It showed me another type of discipline that training for rugby or just gymming in general, that it doesn't have any of those factors. It's hard, it's cutthroat, you have to show up, you have to be there, and at the end of the day, you're gonna get hit in the face. So it's a discipline that's definitely demands a lot, which for a personality like myself, I definitely like, and definitely something that I could see myself doing in the future.
Yeah, before we wrap it up, guys, Fernando, Matt, could we get a bit of a face-off at the end of the front here? Or at the end of the presser?
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
I definitely think we'll do that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Well, lads and lasses, there you have it. The first fight has been announced. Matt Reid will be facing off against Fernando Larey, Carl, on the 25th of October. Make sure you go get your tickets in the link below. They're selling out quick, so make sure you get them.